Hello, everybody. Great to see you. My name is Jörg Süßenbach. I'm the director of the Goethe Institute. And we are very happy to be part of the Boston Book Festival for another time. This is a fantastic institution with a lot of events taking place here at the Goethe Institute as well, and a lot of visitors running all over the place here in Back Bay. The following reading and discussion with the title Graphic Novel, German Comics, and the Story of Root Girl is our contribution from the Goethe Institute to the festival. So, a warm welcome to all of you and to our guests, Priscilla Layne and Birgit Weyhe. I'll introduce them shortly and hand over to them. Don't be frightened, this won't be a long speech. Birgit was born in Germany, 1969, and spent her childhood in East Africa, I think Uganda and Kenya. Later she studied German literature, art and history in Constance and Hamburg and became a graphic novelist. Her works have been nominated for various prizes in Germany, France and Japan. In 2022 she was named, should I press a button? Okay. How often? Every 10 seconds? I can do that. In 2022 she was named as Best German Language Comic Artist at the International Comic Salon in Erlangen, which is a quite prestigious festival. I know that because that's my hometown. And she also received the relevant Hamburg Lessing Award. She joins us after a college tour here in New England, visiting Brown University, UMass Amherst, and Williams College. And you've been in Montreal as well, at the German Studies Association's annual conference. Her latest work, the graphic novel Root Girl, was published in German in 2022 and will come out in English next year, translated by Priscilla Layne, our other guest. In Root Girl, Birgit tells the empowerment story of Crystal, a black woman with Caribbean roots, modeled after Priscilla Layne. Coming to Priscilla, she is Associate Professor of German at the University of North Carolina at Chapel.
Recently promoted.
Oh, recently promoted. I have to say that. That's a fantastic news. Her book, White Rebels in Black, German Appropriation of Black Popular Culture, was published in 2018. And she also has published essays on Turkish, German culture, translation, punk, and film. She's now finishing a manuscript on Afro-German Afrofuturism, very interesting topic, and a critical guide to Fassbinder's The Marriage of Maria Braun. After a short introduction, presentation of Birgit, this event will take the form of a conversation of you, and maybe a little bit later, a discussion about the role of comics in intersectional exploration of Black identity. I want to say many thanks to the Boston Book Festival, to my dear colleague and program officer of the Goethe Institute, Karin Oehlenschläger, over there. She made this event possible. And for sure to Shaya Ainesazi, our intern, who helped us a lot as well. I want to hand over to you. Thank you for being here, and let's enjoy the next hour.
I'm just going to do a quick reading of the prologue of Root Girl because, as you just already heard, it's going to be translated, but it's not yet translated. So we have the prologue is ready, so just that you get an idea of the book. And then we're going to have the conversation. Root Girl. So here I am. In the land of unlimited possibilities that promises the most possible individual freedom. A land that stands for infinite vastness, sheer magnitude, and unfettered consumption. I had imagined spending 2 months teaching at a university in the Midwest would be easier. We'll begin with some drawing exercises. Do you like to draw? No, nope, no, no. Without a license, I was stuck in a place marked by friendly disinterest. Hi, hi, and absolute boredom. At the local supermarket, I can buy guns, but no wine. Excuse me, where can I find the wine and spirits? Alcohol? We don't sell that. Or freshly baked bread. In general, there are more churches than stores. I feel like an outsider and lonely. Meanwhile, at a conference for American Germanists, I'm accused of committing cultural appropriation in my comics. I'm offended. In the future, I'll just write about middle-aged white women from northern Germany. Then I get a request for an interview. An American professor is in Berlin and would like to talk to me about my comics. We agree to meet after I return. Then Priscilla Layne comes and visits me in my atelier. Her questions are knowledgeable, sustained, and comprehensive. The time passes much too quickly. I walk Priscilla back to the train station. During our brief conversation, it quickly became clear that she led an extraordinary life. Can I use your life as the basis for one of my comic strips in the Tagesspiegel? Now it was my turn to interview her on several occasions. And eventually I decided to turn them into a book about the life of an extraordinary woman who is neither white, middle-aged, or from northern Germany. I constructed scenes based on our interviews and then asked Priscilla to comment on them. Yes, but. So just to give you the idea how then the book is constructed, like I said, I had all my little books full with the interviews, and then I constructed the first chapter, the first scene about Tina, who's coming from Barbados to Chicago in the 80s, and she has a little baby. And when I finished the chapter, I sent it like it was to Priscilla, and what she then sent me back in an email, her comments on what I have done, I again, how do you say, drew. So this is how the whole book is constructed. Whenever I finished the next chapter, I sent it to Priscilla, and she commented on it. And after the second chapter, she said that she is fine with how I actually have drawn her. I had also asked her, what do you want to wear as a comic figure? But you then said, and this was very important for me, why don't you use skin color? And she then told me that she didn't like my first attempts using skin color in my really early comics, and that she would like to have the protagonists having skin color because it is very important. And from that moment on, all the protagonists have skin colors. Just to show you how this whole project worked, is I didn't go back and color everything, but I wanted to make clear that I'm learning a lot, that this is a process of learning constantly myself about my own limited, about my stereotypes, about my context, limited view, because I have a certain context, and I learned a lot. So thank you very much, Priscilla.
And it's funny watching you go through the prologue again. One of the things that struck me is, when you're talking about how strange it was to be in America and the cultural stuff that was weird and feeling like an outsider, I could totally relate. So I just found that so interesting that, I was born here, I grew up here, but we can have the same feelings about my culture, or it was also very interesting for me to see an outsider perspective on American culture. Also, right, what you said about how, you would draw a chapter and then I would comment. The funny thing is, so I've been translating the comic now, and I forgot. It's long, so I don't remember everything. And I was reading the chapter with my mom, and you have her cooking dinner. And I was like, my mom doesn't cook. She never cooked dinner. And then it came up in the comments. I was like, oh, right, yeah, I told you that. So, yeah, for me, I really liked that this approach, because I feel like it's you kind of interpreting my life and getting some things wrong, right? And then me telling you what's slightly wrong. So I really like this kind of maybe dialectic or conversational approach.
Yeah, and that when I asked you if you would comment on what I'm doing, I thought, oh, this will be really hard because you will start using critique, and I have to really. But you were so nice and really.
Well, I said to Birgit before, because I'm in academia, I'm used to writing articles and sending them in, and you get comments. I know how frustrating it can be if someone's like nitpicking things. So yeah, I mean, I commented if something was like totally off, or little things that were important to me, like which dinosaur watch I was wearing, when I was 11. But in general, I mean, I think part of the reason I didn't have a lot of critique for you is because I like your comic art, right? Your aesthetic. So yeah.
And this was something which really made it easy for me also to listen. And there's one thing which now, as I did this tour, and I had to do sometimes three times a day the reading in German or English, and I realized that what was the most important I learned from you is just to listen.